It's week 12. You know, not having that bye week, even last week in that fourth quarter, you start seeing things. And, I felt like that first drive that they had, where all of a sudden now their backs are maybe breaking a tackle here or there. And, just felt like if we have an opportunity to win it, we're going to take full advantage of it. So kind of had that just from watching that first series of overtime. And, that's got to be a feel, or you just keep playing, to the point where it ends up just being 2-point plays. So, I don't know if we have that many 2-point plays. So we had one called. They called timeout. We went with something different. And then players got to make plays. And, Bo got out, avoided a sack and found Austin Bray, who went up and still had to grab that ball and get it. And so happy he did that.
How more of a win was this for the senior class, especially this being a lot?
Yeah, because you want to give them more. The one thing, disappointed as head coach that we couldn't give them more wins. And that'll always sit. But I always say this, you remember that last game. I remember 3 years ago going to Southern Illinois, beat up guys, third-string offensive linemen playing, third-string safeties playing a team that was going into play. And we won that game. And I truly believe that game, that season, kind of took us to the next year where we went 7-4 and took us to the following year. So these games in November and how you finish, I think that kind of for the seniors to go out winning and singing the fight song, that's what you work for all week. But for your underclassmen to, in that game, nobody knew who Bryce Oliver was. And I think he had 2 touchdowns in that Southern Illinois that kind of propelled him to be the player he's going to be. And there's guys making plays today that, maybe we don't know their names, but guess what? In the future, you're going to learn who they are.
So the reoccurring thing, the double-digit lead against,
Mm-hmm.
have an opportunity to touch Tuesday.
Yeah. Deja vu. And don't think that you don't feel that. But the best thing that we overcame it, which we haven't. When all of a sudden you get momentum, we get a block punt, we got to score. We get a block punt, we got to score touchdowns, and we didn't. We had all the momentum. You getting explosive like a block. I think when you block a punt, you have a 96% chance of winning a football game in analytics, and they get no points there, and then they fight their way back in. They take the lead. But the one thing I've said about this with our players, everyone says, how's your mindset? Our kids come to work every day. They're resilient. They're persistent. I hope you see that, where they could have caved, and there are some ugly plays in that game. We say the good, the bad, and the ugly. There's a lot of good. There was some bad, and there was some ugly. And, we gotta fix the bad and ugly in this off season. But I thought the difference this week compared to last week, we are better winning first down. We're better being 2nd and 6, 2nd and 5. And, that's the challenge. When things get really hard, can you put your players in a great position? And to be 2nd and 5 is a lot better than being 2nd and 10. And I thought that was the difference in the third and fourth quarter that kind of kept the ball moving the chains and fighting our way to get back in that football game.
Going back to the 2-point play, you guys came out with one play at
Mm-hmm.
the first time. They called timeout. You guys changed it up. What was the play called the first time, and what did you guys ultimately, and why did you ultimately decide to change it up?
Yeah, we call it Saluki, but nobody's seen it yet, so I'm not going to kind of tell you what it is. But it was Saluki, and we had it last week and didn't have the opportunity to use it, but probably a little bit more trickery than what you saw. But and you kind of knew they were going to call a timeout there, but we faith to change the play, get your quarterback out of the pocket, give him an opportunity. Even on a bad foot, his bad foot's still better than some, and to give him the opportunity to find the receiver and give our team and our players an opportunity to win.
Are you
Mm-hmm.
limited on what you could call because of this play?
Yeah, we knew at half. Again, can you play? First of all, can you play? I don't want to play somebody that can't play. And, He said just movement. You weren't going to see him do things with his legs, unless necessary. I still saw him be able to make some runs there on, scrambles, especially there where we had that penalty on a crack block there in overtime. But yeah, we knew that, we're going to have to sit in the pocket, throw a ball. We had to adjust. We had to adapt, to what our players could do. And I thought we made great adjustments in that we were 31 to 36 for passing, which some people don't see as pocket, being able to throw the ball.
Obviously, a player wants to play. Did you consult the trainers on
Oh yeah. I mean, and trainer came and said, hey, he's good to go. I'm sure he's going to be sore tomorrow. And, fortunately for us, the season's over and he'll have plenty of time to get that ankle. But we knew that it wasn't going to be the same player that you saw in the first half in the second half. And, I thought our receivers made some great plays downfield. Our offensive line provided the protection to Bo, and we learned to execute differently as an offense.
Talking about Max's catch there.
Yeah.
In that end zone there.
Unbelievable. And we see that in practice. Kind of new, and official. I don't think he had. We'll see. And to be able to make a play like that. I mean, Max has been doing it all year. I still think he's best receiver in this league, and I think he leads in that category. And players got to make plays. Your A-plus players got to make plays in these games, and I thought our A-plus players made those plays in the second half when we needed them most. And again, we haven't been good, handling when that adversity strikes us. And I thought our kids hung in there, played for 60-plus minutes, and found a way to earn a hard-fought Missouri Valley Football Conference win at home.
And statistically, obviously probably Bo's best passing performance.
Mm-hmm.
From where he was in fall camp and week one, what have you seen kind of from his growth as a quarterback, as a passer from then to now?
Just learning. I mean, there's so many things a quarterback's got to know. Not just the play. He's got to know protections. He's got to know coverages. He's got to know where to go if it's a zero blitz. He's got to know too high shell, what safeties I'm reading. Where's my 1, 2, 3, working based on what coverage they give. And that just takes time in working at it. And again, he'll be the first to tell you he's not there yet, but he'll tell you he's a lot better than he was in the beginning of the season. And, the fun thing about the off season is you have a chance to reflect. You have a chance to look at what you've done, areas where we got to get better, as a head coach, as an offense, as a defense, as special teams, and how we manage our roster, to what we do in the weight room, to what we do in the training room, those are the next steps that we take, but first we got 15 committed kids here on an official visit weekend. So it'll look like a wedding reception tonight as we go out to dinner with about 60 people. And, recruiting also plays a huge role in making sure that, we replenish our roster and, we bring the players in here that we can compete in this league and win more football games. Close isn't good enough. We got to win football games. And that's going to be the focus going into December. Yes.
How much R&R time are you going to take?
How much what?
R&R.
There's no time. I mean, tomorrow we'll have recruits in my office. I probably got 15 meetings tomorrow with those recruits, and it just goes right into, trying to get those guys signed for the first week in December. Then you meet with your seniors, you do exit interviews, then you bring in, the players that are on your roster, seeing where we need to get better as a team. So it's constantly improvement. And that's an exciting piece because, we got to get a lot better. And, that process starts immediately. Yeah, Kristen.
The penalties. Did you guys, did you send a message to the players to not get penalties?
Yeah, the selfish ones, Kristen. We teach these players to be as physical and aggressive as you can. We talk about, run into the cliff, don't jump over. I don't know what the last one was. I don't. It was a player, they said, blocking out of bounds. I don't know how defense blocks. So, again, those are things we have to see, but we can't because those personal fouls, those are selfish. Here's a guy trying to block for Bo. Well, in today's world, a defensive player, you got to use your hands. You can't use your shoulder pads. So I got to look at that and see, but anytime they get, it's a hard hit. We had one against Missouri State, and they come back and say that wasn't a penalty, but how violent it looked, they thought it was. And so those are the things we got to clean up. To me, those are the selfish ones, but there's some that are going to happen that you got two people running as fast as they can, and you got a sideline. Those things are going to happen, but we definitely, the ones that we can control, those penalties, definitely we got to be able to clean up.
Real quick, so now that the season's over and the reflection, I know it's right after, how would you kind of describe this?
Gosh, just, I'm always going to say, you get disappointed, just like you get disappointed in your kids at times and, your own kids at times, but I'm proud of them. I'm proud that they came to work each week. I'm proud that they were ready to play football game. We're ready to play each and every football game. You take the South Dakota State Pittsburgh out, and you have a chance to win every game.
Yeah.
But there's something missing that we got to figure out, and whether that's attention to detail, whether that's something that we're doing because you either coach it or allow it. And so that's something that we got to do a deep dive into us, because we got players. We got the players to win in this league just by the games that you see. And, that's the thing that we got to figure out in the next 9 months before, we get back into next season, and understanding it's inches. Every game's going to be like you saw today, every game. And you got to win. We want to win them all. And we didn't do that this year, and I'm disappointed for the seniors, but I'm glad we were able to send those guys out winners. And we got to make sure our fans deserve better, deserve more, our community, our university. And it's my job to find out how we can get back to winning a lot more games than what we did this past year.